good, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy HMK once again. And I said in the title, and I could mean it, and let me explain something. This is quickly becoming my favorite 3D Sonic game, but could Shadow Generations be the best 3D Sonic game? Because, I mean, people can argue Sonic 2, I mean, like, yeah, Sonic 2. But Sega and Sonic Team really put something together that is truly special. I gotta thank my friends at Sega for providing early access to the game, because I've been playing it up the wazoo, and I'm still playing it, and I'm having such an amazing time. And I want to talk about why this game could be the best Sonic game. But note, this is not going to have any spoilers. It's going to be spoiler free. I'm not going to talk about anything when it comes to the story, mostly just gameplay and how it truly took everything, Sonic Generations and up, I mean Boost Formula and up, and Sonic Frontiers, and made something amazing, truly amazing. And if this is the future of Sonic games, I think we are ready for a certain conversation, which we're going to talk about at the end of the video. But let me tell you, so Shadow Generations, specifically those levels, I got to tell you, the game has some of the best, if not, in my opinion, the best level design out of 3D Sonics, especially when considering the Boost Formula games. Now, I've said it before, time and time again, it's no secret that I have a certain amount of disdain for certain functionality when it comes to applying the Boost Formula to Sonic games and certain levels. But Shadow Generations takes the best of what is offered from Sonic Generations, which still plays amazingly well. I mean, it's a bit dated. I mean, come on, like 2011, it's dated, but good dated, all right? Took the best elements from Sonic Generations and none of the fluff, and took the best elements, I'm talking about Boost, all right? The best elements from Sonic Frontiers when it comes to boosting with Sonic in Sonic Generations or Sonic Frontiers, and applied them to the best degree to Shadow, where he feels the best. And I'm telling you, I've been the biggest advocate for this notion when it comes to Sonic games. Speed and, in my opinion, more, like just a little bit, more importantly, just by a little bit, control. I am always an advocate for speed and control because, you know, I don't like it when I play a game and I could just tape down the boost button and hold the stick forward and just beat the game in like 2 hours. But in this game, not only is it beefy, we're going to talk about it in a little bit, but Shadow has the right amount of speed inside and outside of Boost that gives you the right amount of control without needing to like strafe, or like move to the right. I can do that naturally with the stick while in and out of Boost form, Boost Formula, Boost State, Booster. I can do that with Shadow, and it feels super good. And it's really nice that the levels in Shadow Generations taken, you know, from the best of what we've seen from Sonic Generations going forward with Sonic Colors, all that good jazz, going into Sonic Frontiers, where the level design is wide enough to accommodate Shadow's own control over the Boost Formula, but then of course Shadow's own powers when it comes to Doom powers in terms of traversal, like Doom Morph and Doom Surf and all that good jazz, and of course Chaos Control. Like it's just so good. Like, and that's just the level design and the boost, and just like I have gameplay here and it is unoptimized, but it doesn't matter because it feels so good. And the way that the game is structured, going off of Boost and going off of the level design, is that a lot of people have been saying things like, oh man, I wish the game was bigger and whatnot. To me, for a Generations style game, a Shadow style game, it has the right amount of content, but I wish there was more story, if that makes any sense, right? Because exploring the white space, which I feel needs to be in Sonic games moving forward in this way, obviously it took like form from Sonic Frontiers, but it's way better here because we don't have to deal with all those jagged platform edges of like, oh, it's an island, so we have trees and we have mountains and we have also like, no, we don't need that. I just need flat rails, incline, ramps, and then the occasional, you know, mess. And that's, you know, meant to be a hazard. So in Sonic X Shadow Generations, you know, I'm gonna say Sonic, Shadow, all that stuff, like, bear with me. I'm gushing, all right? This is the type of gush that you need. Shadow Generations, in terms of the white space, feels so good exploring and traversing, and especially when you compare to Shadow being in level versus the white space, it just, like, he was built for this, right? Like the way he moves around is obviously taking more form from Frontiers, but applied in the right way for Shadow to have, once again, way more control over his character, his standing, and how he moves around these things, right? It's just really, really nice. And it's really fun to explore this area outside of the levels because there are so many collectibles. And if you are a Shadow fan, this is your game because there's so much to collect. There's artwork, there's music, there's story, there's so much to find and collect. And then how you collect these things? By playing the levels, which contain medals that you have to find in the levels, but the levels are fun. So they're like, with every Sonic game, they're meant to be played over and over again, but it takes that initiative to the next level in making it fun. All the levels are fun. Like, I'm serious, all of Kingdom Valley from Sonic 06, that's like the best level. I mean, we could debate about that once the game is like, more out and about, but Kingdom Valley, so playing these levels over and over again, beating your high score again, S on everything, and look for the medals. And then the medals go, and you go into the world and you find the art, and you find the music, you find the collectors, and then 100%ing. And then all these levels, when it comes to the specific levels from the past, because this is a Generations game, it comes with Act 1, Act 2, as always, but then have challenge acts, which allow you to unlock the boss keys to fight the bosses, who are super fun, and then those have medals and those have challenges, and then you play those over and over again. That's why I'm saying that the content in Shadow Generations is actually pretty nice. It's pretty nice. I just wish there was more story, but I'm not going to talk about more story. And the bosses and the music with the bosses and the music in general is just so good. The bosses, like, you guys already know Bile-Lizard. I'm not going to talk about anything past Bile-Lizard, even though there's more bosses than but let's just talk about Bile-Lizard. Bile-Lizard is really fun to play because, especially when you play from the beginning of the Bile-Lizard, you would think, oh, Sonic Adventure 2, no biggie, man, this is an easy boss, right? But then it goes, obviously, in Generations form, goes into a new form. And then that is really fun, and all the bosses have things like that, and it's just super cool. Not only feeling like the ultimate life form Shadow in dismantling these bosses, but also finding the optimal way to clear these bosses as fast as possible in Sonic fashion. It's just, you're gonna have a good time playing this game over and over and over again, 100% it, getting all the trophies, and it just feels really good. Now let's talk about the notion of the future of Sonic when applying how good Shadow Generations is. It's like, I'm so glad that Sega has this dog in them. That's just like Sonic Team. They woke up. I mean, they were always awake because they try their best, They always do and whatnot. But now, the armor with no kinks in the armor of Shadow Generations, it is the most consistent game in a long time when it comes to the Sonic franchise, right? Because they took what was good and they didn't incorporate what wasn't. They took out the fluff, they made it right. Shadow feels so good. His level design feels amazing, nice, tight. Control is just, it feels really, really, really good, super consistent, and to the point where okay, there are gimmicks, obviously, because of the Doom powers, especially since you get them in sequential order, but those gimmicks feel natural, not out of the wazoo, not oh man, now we got this level that specifically requires this power and then whatever. No, because the way you get these powers, and the more powers you get, the more routes open up and the more ways you can apply these powers in future and past levels, and just makes it all feel good. As Shadow would say himself in the story, it feels natural, right? So let's talk about the future of Sonic games if they were to take Shadow Generations into account. And I hope that you guys are enjoying this as much as I am, because damn, right? I think we are ready, ladies and gentlemen. Sega, we're ready for Sonic Adventure 3. But, I will say this. Hey, listen, I would love a DLC for Shadow Generations, Sonic X Shadow Generations, but Shadow Generations is kind of like DLC. It's not right. No. I want like an epilogue type thing. I want more, and then just shove Sonic into Shadow's world, and then something that happens after Sonic and Shadow Generations, because the story is parallel to each other. something that's like after that or after Frontiers, like that. Imagine the DLC for Sonic X Shadow Generation that takes place after Frontiers, that incorporates Sage somehow or whatever. Just visualize. That's if we don't get Sonic Adventure 3. Now, Sonic Adventure 3, with the Fearless Year of Shadow, Sega said that if Shadow Generation does good, we could see Shadow in a, in more important capacities, more playable important capacities. I'm like, after playing this, yeah, like, gimme, right? So, imagine Sonic Adventure 3. Right? And truly an adventure, and I'm gonna tell you why an adventure, right? Sonic, Shadow, Silver. Yes, the three hedgehogs. Silver deserves another chance after what happened, right? Take the concept of the white space that is introduced in Shadow Generations, right? That hub, right? But like, but Sonic Frontiers did it. No. Shadow Generations did it better. Do what Shadow Generations did, right? The way that you go around that space, go to different levels, unlock more places within the space and whatever. There's bosses within the space, yada, yada, yada. Take that and multiply it by like 5. All right, am I asking for a lot? What I mean is that make like 5 different biomes, right? That Sonic, Shadow, and Silver all travel to like in tandem, arms like linked and whatnot, skipping around town. And then allow Sonic, Shadow, and Silver to obviously retain, their own powers, but still be consistent enough so I don't have to swap between Sonic and Shadow if I just want to go faster or anything like that. Or I mean, make Sonic just a little bit faster in order to you have to get towards the end. That's the challenge of this thing in order to open this door, and then Sonic being the fastest of the Shadow, right? Have it so that we can swap. If you want to put a cooldown timer or whatever, we can swap on the fly, almost on the fly, Sonic Heroes style, between Sonic, Shadow, and Silver, between their own specific abilities in order to access more areas within each biome that will take us to where we have to go to a world for Act 1, Act 2. And then, imagine, all right, Sonic jumps off a ramp, right? Shadow is able to use Chaos Spear because he's the only one who could actually throw something like energy. Swap to Shadow, Chaos Spear hits a switch, switches over to Silver. Silver floats towards where the switch opened up the door or whatever, and now you're ready to go to a new level you just unlocked in that biome. And times that by 5. Give us 5 different white spaces with 5 different levels in them. Is that a lot? 3 levels in them? 5 levels in them, give us 25 levels, and then that's the game, Sonic Adventure 3. And that's why it's the adventure, because each biome is going to be an adventure, different part of the world, or making planets! Right? Or different dimensions, whatever. That's the adventure. The 3 hedgehogs on an adventure together from biome 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, unlock final boss, Super Sonic 3. Yeah. And I feel that Shadow Generations literally puts that into perspective in something that could happen in line with that. And I'm like, Shadow Generations, this is putting everything to perspective. I've seen so many posts about this, and I agree with this notion. Shadow Generations is the evolution of Sonic that should have happened years ago, right? But it's here now, and I'm happy. And yeah, you know what? It's the best. It's the best. I'm gonna if you want more of this type of gush, I'm gonna have a spoiler version of this. But ladies and gentlemen, get on this game. This is the game. This is the game. I need more. I'm itching. I'm about to go back and play it some more. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys feel what I'm feeling. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Until next video, this has been your boy HMK. And I'll check you guys later.